Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mark and Joel with Extra Point. We got a new video for y'all this week. We got Cold Beer Hot Takes, Week 9 in college football. A lot of exciting stuff happened. Let's jump into it. With the honors, Joel, you got yours?
I got mine right here. Blue.
He's got a big one. Let's crack him.
Let's go.
Chug, chug, chug. No, I'm kidding. Oh, no.
I took half of it.
All right,
Let's go.
let's jump into it, guys. Heisman race is starting to heat up. We got a lot of guys that are playing really good. We got guys that are cheering their teams. What do you think on this Heisman race? We're gonna start off with Haynes King from Georgia Tech, Diego Pavia from Vanderbilt, Ty Simpson from Bama, and I believe Fernando Mendoza from Indiana. What do you think about those guys? Are those guys like possible candidates?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I feel like the race is getting tighter and tighter as the weeks go by. Personal favorite here. I think Ty Simpson with Alabama Crimson Tide, just because he's been tested week in and week out, and he brought his team back this weekend. I think they were down against South Carolina, and they were able to score one last touchdown and to bring them back. Diego Pavia, his magic, was able to pull away with the win, even though it was a really tight game. They weren't playing the prettiest offense, but they got it done. And then King over at Georgia Tech, man, he's playing crisp, clean, complimentary football. He may not be in the most competitive conference, but he's still playing really good football. And then lastly, Fernando Mendoza, he's dominating. I think he has like almost over 2,000 yards.
Man,
he's down him up, and he has some really good receivers with him, and it's just a hard race. But like I said, I think right now my top of the list would be Ty Simpson.
Gotcha. Who would be the most shocking guy to win it? Like out of these guys, who would be like the most? Oh, like I know he had a chance, but I didn't think he was going to do it. But who would you think?
Honestly, King over at Georgia Tech, coming from a ACC school. The competitiveness isn't all there. I'm not trying to dog on the ACC, but you are competing against lower tier, competitors. Comparison to the SEC and the Big Ten. Second to that list would be Pavia, and I think he's the oldest out of all of these guys too. Yeah, I think that would be my two surprises there. What I like to see the underdog win it. Oh yeah, I always love to see an underdog win it. I think the biggest story here would be if Pavia wins it, then it just blows up this Heisman race like crazy. Everybody will go nuts.
That would be insane. Yeah, that would be insane. Like to have I think also it would be kind of cool to have like the guy that wins the Heisman have like a personality, and Pavia has a personality. Haynes King has a personality. I get it. Like Ty, he's like the typical like Heisman front runner looking quarterback. He's playing good. He's all about his business. He's staying focused. But having like that extra like swagger that Pavia has, that's pretty cool.
I think his competitiveness, his game, what he brings to the game week in and week out, makes it infectious. So everybody wants to see what Pavia does this week, and I feel like that's why everybody loves him. Even though game day, they were all over him. Yeah, they were all over him. So yeah, it'll be Pavia wins it.
Sweet, gotcha. Okay.
Before we move on, who would be yours Heisman favorite at the moment?
My favorite person to win the Heisman would probably be Ty Simpson. Probably just because the resume might be. It has the potential to be better than Indiana's. Indiana's resume with Mendoza it's really up there already, but Ty continues to close that gap. You know, when Bama has a couple good opponents left on their schedule, and honestly, the Heisman race might come down to who has a better championship game. Is it Mendoza versus Ohio State? If he wins that game and plays a better game than Ty Simpson, playing the Aggies or playing Georgia, like whoever wins their conference, say they both win. Say Bama wins the SEC and Indiana wins the Big Ten, but Ty Simpson throws for 2 interceptions and it was ugly for him. Then Mendoza's gonna win it. But I mean, so far I got Ty.
There you go. Good take. On second on our list, we got the Oklahoma Sooners. Are the Sooners one loss away from not making it to the college football playoffs? What's your take on that?
100%. They're one loss away. They can't afford to lose anything. I think the committee will have no problem letting a 2-loss team from the SEC make it in. If you're an ACC team and you have 2 losses, you're donezo. SEC, it's a different story, because it's a gauntlet, it's a battle. Like a 10-2 Texas should make it. A 10-11, I'm sorry, a 10-2 Bama or whoever goes 10-2 should make it. So right now, Oklahoma, John Mateer, he's looking more healthy. They just had to play a really, really good Ole Miss team. But that's a game you gotta win. You're at home.
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't get. I understand it's a tall task to beat Ole Miss. When you're at home, you gotta find a way to scrape those wins because winning the SEC is so hard.
No, yeah, definitely. Next week they still got to go to Tennessee, then they go to Alabama, and the last and final 2 games of the season they play them at home. One versus Missouri, and then season finale against LSU.
Oh, yeah, that's tough. I see easily 2 losses on that. Minimum 2 losses. I gotcha. Kind of talking about the ACC. Bill Belichick, Hall of Fame head coach in the NFL. He made the transition to the college football landscape. His idea was, I want to coach, but I want to develop kids to great football players. So that's what he did in the league, the big league. He would develop low draft guys and turn them into something really good. And whenever they wanted a big contract, he would just trade them away, start over. So a lot of people are like, yeah, sure, this coach, he's old as hell, but he wants to help kids and develop kids. So he goes over to UNC, University of North Carolina, and it's been a disaster. Do you think Bill Belichick will be a one and done?
I feel like Bill Belichick needs more support. I feel like he needs a school that probably will pretty much open up a checkbook and be like, here you go. What's your number? Not only do you gotta, convince these kids like, hey man, I'm gonna create a pipeline directly to the NFL because I know what NFL scouts want. But you also got to realize some of these kids need the bag now. You got to convince not only like, hey, I'm gonna make sure you make it to the NFL, but I'm also get you the money. And that's kind of hard to do both at the same time. I feel like Bill Belichick has that mentality at this point in his life. I'm like, I don't give a damn no more.
He doesn't. He does.
I feel like this is what's gonna happen. Like he's gonna be like, I did what I could. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, I mean he has nothing else to prove. He's the Hall of Fame head coach. I got
that's just my take on it. I feel like he just looks defeated. Not only does his team defeated, but he looks defeated, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. Moving on, in the group of 5, do you think Memphis will earn their spot as the group of 5 representative team in the college football playoffs?
I feel like Group Memphis is fighting, pretty much to stay in it at this point. I would love to see them in the college football playoffs. I feel like they earned it. I feel like they earned it. They do. They still have a tough schedule to go through. They got to go against Navy. They got to go against North Texas. That's pretty much dotting it up. But yeah, I would love to see Memphis get in there. They already beat the SEC school. So they're capable of competing with these Power 5 schools and SEC team. So I feel like they're the most deserving team in the group of 5 to make it in.
I got you. I agree with you 100% right there.
Cool. So next on our list, we got the Texas Aggies. Texas Aggies are the best team in the SEC. Man, tastes it bad. I need to wash it. I need to wash it down.
Yeah, let's wash that shit down. Are they the best team in the SEC? I need another drink. I think that's not a hot take. The Texas A&M Aggies are the best team in the SEC. Not just because they're undefeated, because Bama did drop the ball week 1 on the road, non-conference. I get it. Kind of a game that shouldn't be heavily penalized on you. But A&M, they can win any type of game. They can win the shootouts. They can win the slugfests. They can win the turnover battle. They can win the field positioning game. They win at all levels. And Mike Elko's doing with those guys, it's impressive. I mean, even in year 1, even those guys giving a chance to sniff the title game was pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
After replacing, like those big guys like Jimbo Fisher and whatnot. So I think A&M is the best team. And a lot of people were saying, oh, well, they're not really tested. They went on the road and beat Notre Dame. Really, it kind of been a toss-up game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you guys haven't beat anybody. True. Oh, you guys don't play on the road. True. Well, they get another big road test. They go to LSU. Take care of LSU. Granted, it's a struggling LSU team. I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm not trying to piss on your parade. But when you think of LSU, Death Valley, it's freaking hard to win there. But if you're lucky, every now and then you can catch a team slipping when their roster is not playing the way it should be. When their coaching staff is not on the same page, you can get these sneaky wins. And I think the counter argument to that is we didn't barely beat them. We beat them comfortably. So I guess in the next test for these Aggies is this: at the end of the year, when they come to DKR, and the Aggies, they can lose a game and they control their own destiny to go to the SEC championship game. Now, granted, do they not play the upper table of the SEC this year? They don't. They're not playing Bama. They're not playing Georgia. Excuse me. They're not playing Ole Miss. They're not playing Tennessee. Their biggest games in the SEC were Texas and LSU. LSU fell off the wall instead of Texas. So who are you guys really playing? But at the end of the day, SEC is an SEC win. So, but I would have to say that the Aggies are the best team right now in the SEC. Doesn't mean you're gonna win anything. Because last year at this point, Texas was the best team in the SEC.
True. I just want to see them this weekend. They go to Missouri, so I want to see what the Texas A&M can do to this Missouri team. Missouri came in close to beating Alabama a couple of weeks ago, so that's my only argument. I still feel like Alabama's the best team in the SEC. I just need to see A&M play Missouri and how that game turns out. Depending on that game, I'll say, all right, A&M's the real deal. Yeah. I think they could definitely beat Missouri. I just want to see the way they do it. They beat them would mean a lot.
I gotcha.
But yeah, Texas A&M, they could probably win out the last 4 games and go to the SEC championship, most likely against Alabama at this point.
Yeah. I gotcha. And then let's see. Um, got a kind of not really a hot take, but kind of like a pick your brain type of question. Out of all the coaching jobs that are available right now, which one's the best? We have Oklahoma State when they fired Mike Gundy. We have the Florida job when they fired Billy Napier, I believe that's his last name.
Mm-hmm.
And when they fired Penn State, James Franklin. And then also, breaking news, by the way, Brian Kelly just got fired at LSU. You know, at the time of this recording, it was 10, 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So out of those jobs, like, man, like those are some highly valued programs that are going to pay you millions of dollars. If you're a head coach anywhere in this country, which job, if all these schools came to you, like which one would you probably take the most consideration from?
Man, I got about let me just knock it down to like 3.
Yeah.
One, like all these schools could probably pay you a lot of money. Let's just knock out one for now. Okay, Oklahoma State. Nobody wants to go to Oklahoma State.
Why not?
You're in the Big 12. It's already, not only that, there's teams in there that already have, they're already mile or years ahead of you. You got to compete with Oklahoma as well, your neighboring college. And then lastly, it's not a attractive city to come to Oklahoma State. That's my biggest takes. Like it has to be attractive city. We got to have a lot of money, and somehow you got to be, not the dead last team in the conference. It's just you got to be somewhere in the middle or just barely, not like at the very top, but like mid-tier team still. You can't
Gotcha.
you can't be the last bottom tier of the team and live in the school being a terrible city.
I gotcha.
So I'm gonna lock out Oklahoma State out of that list. Now we got LSU, Penn State, and Florida. 2 SEC, 1 Big Ten. Now, which will you coach? An SEC school or a Big Ten school?
SEC. I'm taking. If I was a student, I'd rather go to an SEC school rather than a Big Ten school.
Would you go? Exactly. Like that was my other argument. Now would it come down to weather now? You want to play in the snow or in the cold weather when the game's like late in the season?
Fuck no.
Granted, I know it's LSU. You're in Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge ain't that pretty. But the women are.
Hey,
Counties over there.
Yeah, Maddox.
And then Florida, another rich in history. They got the money. That's the other thing too. You gotta see which program spills a lot of money. And I feel like LSU and Florida in this situation will spend a lot of money on their next head coach.
Right, 100%.
Geographically now, which 2 states have the better players? Louisiana or Florida?
I'll say Florida. Florida, they produced a lot of talent. Them Florida boys know how to get down.
Yeah. And not only that, it's a competitive state because not only is Florida there, but you got Florida State, you got USF, you got Miami, and then these other middle tier teams in between, they're all pretty successful. Granted, Florida State is still struggling at the moment. I think there's the reason why all these this talent is so spread out is because Florida has a really good pipeline, these high schools and everything. There's so many players that, come out of these high schools and are able to fill in a lot of these spots. I mean, even Texas, I think the number one QB coming in next year, he's from Florida. And Texas is starting to recruit more in Florida. It means a lot. So I think for Florida, I feel like it's important they hire somebody that, continues to keep the players in Florida as best as they can. So I'm gonna go with Florida. My opinion would be the best school to pick if I was a head coach looking for a job.
Yeah, that's a good take. I agree with you too. I like how you broke it down from worst to best. Florida, the history, they've won national championships. You're gonna get the support. That's just the nostalgia of that culture, that program.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a really hard job. I mean, I think whoever gets the Florida job is gonna be well. One thing too. Let me slow down. Billy Napier got 4 years at Florida. There were 4 rough years.
Mhm.
At Penn State, James Franklin got 12 years, but the first 6 years he was rebuilding that program from the scandals they had and whatnot. And then the last 6 years of his time there, he was winning games. And then probably the last 4 out of that 6, there was games he should have won, but they were still good. They were still very competitive. At LSU, Brian Kelly was there for 4 years. He didn't take over a shitty program. He literally took over a national championship winning team. Well, a lot of guys got drafted, but it was 2019 they won a natty. He took over. So like they gave him 4 years, and they knew he lost a lot of talent, but the recruiting was on fire because he just won the natty. I mean, the people are investing more money for you to push the program.
Mhm.
They gave him 4 years. And at Florida, they gave Billy Napier 4 years, and there were 4 terrible years.
Mhm.
And he took over a program that wasn't in bad shape, but there was no like progression really from Billy Napier. So if I'm a coach, I'm gonna choose Florida too because it's like, okay, I know you guys are not as cutthroat. You guys will give me at least 2 years to fuck up. You
Yep.
get this at 4 years. If Brian Kelly, if he had like, if Brian Kelly was at Florida, he'd probably have 6 years to fuck up.
Yeah.
But I mean, so Florida, they're very patient. So I'll probably take Florida and then LSU, and then Penn State. Like you said, this is hard to recruit. It's hard to recruit. James Franklin, he's a good recruiter, but to recruit guys to go play up north and these, what's kind of a thing in the past, like the Big Ten was just run the ball, I formation. You're not even getting kids in the West Coast that want to toss the rock around. Hey man, leave the palm trees, go to Nebraska, and let's just run the ball, and you get 1 pass into slant per game. They're not going to go there.
No.
But it's obviously opened up a bit more, but it's still that kind of same fashion. Like, we're the Big Ten. We're going to ground and pound you guys. It's just, I think it's going to be a really, really hard gig. And like you said, the OSU being dead last in the Big 12, it's just, I don't know. It's a tough. I think whoever would take OSU is going to be like a first-time head coach or like a head coach from like a G5 spot.
Maybe I think I've heard it like a little bit after Mike Gundy got fired. Maybe even the guy from Texas State, the head coach for Texas State, might be interested. It's a good.
Coach.
Yeah, he's a really good coach. He turned around Texas State. Maybe North Texas head coach might want to step up, like that spot.
Yeah.
It's not a bad gig. It's just at this high profile schools, you're looking at like who's the next coach coming up to take over these schools. Maybe the South Florida coach might be interested in the Florida job. Last week, Lane Kiffin, he's like that dude's funny. He might be interested in the Florida job as well. Would you rather play in Mississippi or in Florida? I mean, I feel like the Florida school looks a lot better than Ole Miss school. You know what I mean? Like, just like I said, going back to where these schools are, Florida probably has a better chances of recruiting better. There's better talent in Florida rather than Mississippi.
Yeah. What did that one coach say? The coach for Nebraska, Matt Rule, when he's talking about Penn State.
Penn State, yeah.
What did he say? He was like, "Oh, well, man,
yeah, granted, he went to Penn State. He's like, I met my wife here. Man, Penn State's been good to me. I love Penn State. But I mean, I like where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he was sucking up bad, like trying to get in there, try to get
They're-
their attention.
Yeah, they're even saying that the coach that Dan Lanning from Oregon, he's originally from the SEC. I mean, he might be. You think it's worth for him to leave Oregon and come down?
Bro, Oregon has so much money, and
True.
you don't have no competition on that side
True.
of the country. Who's your biggest competition in the West Coast?
Ohio State.
Ohio State is like still Midwest.
Oh yeah, and you're yeah. Washington every now and then. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Look, I feel like the school that gives up a lot of money and has patience, that's a good job. I feel like Oregon's a really attractive school just because they have the money, and I don't think Lane Kiffin, the head coach for Oregon. I don't think he has a lot of competition. So he's like, I'm coasting over here. You know?
Yeah.
Why would I leave when I could get everything I want?
True.
I could convince some of these kids like, hey, look at this New Jersey. That's it, bro. Like you could just convince a lot of these kids like, hey, bro, I could get you the bag. I can make you look good.
Hey, coach, am I going to play time? No, but you'll be kicked out. Sign me up.
Yeah, decked out. We'll take these high definition pictures of you and put you, make posters of you. Never once played a game.
Oh my goodness! I mean, what a crazy week of college football.
Yeah,
a lot of good takes, a lot of hot takes and whatnot. I mean, it's been a hell of a season, and being said that like we're getting past the halfway point and whatnot, but there's a lot of stuff talking about, a lot of good things.
There's so much to talk about, and man, this season, I don't know. I don't remember a season like this where it gets shaken up so many times. Like you constantly have your top tens stay at top tens. Man, I feel like we had a musical chairs every weekend. Like a top 10 would drop down or out of the top 25. You know, it's just
right.
You don't know what to expect almost in every game now.
Right.
It's good for football.
100%. Gotcha. Well, that wraps up this week's video, guys. Thanks for watching it. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. We post weekly, sometimes daily. No, we don't, but almost every other week. No, I'm kidding. We post multiple times a week. Make sure you guys will keep supporting us, and thanks for y'all's help.
Appreciate it, guys. You guys have a good night.
Later. Bye.